Well, my name is Awura Abena Agyeman. I am co-founder and CEO of Wear Ghana in Republic of Africa. And I'm really excited to be on Just for Women Africa.
You left the comfort of your corporate job to build this brand. What gave you the courage to take that leap?
I think it was naivety. It was naivety, but it was also, so for me, my journey into entrepreneurship started gradually, in the sense that I did what we call the national service. Maybe others would understand it as Peace Corps. I think Nigeria has an equivalent. I'm trying to remember what they call it. But I did my national service with New York University's study abroad program here in Ghana. And in that 1 year, I became quite aware of how the rest of the world was interested in African fashion, because different student groups would come from the US primarily, but also other parts of the world. And by the time they were leaving, they would have bags full of clothing made here, to the point where the seamstress that was the most subscribed, she was almost like part of the staff. So during orientation, she would be there and then she would take measurements. And this was in 2008.
Before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out and thank our sponsor and donors for supporting our training program that empowers women to become plumbers. Integrated Legal Consult, Amayal Deborah, Pastor Lab Medical Laboratories, Range Angels, Vision with V, Cleopatra Inkiser, and not forgetting our media partners, Ghana Webbers.
In Ghana, we're not quite wearing our clothes here. And it made me wonder, why is it that the rest of the world is interested in something that we have? We are sitting on that opportunity. So by the time I went into full-time work, which was with a financial institution, I'd started to do a bit of designing, and I'd seen how alive I would come over the weekends, where I got to design clothes for the few clients that I was starting to build. So the decision came when I had applied to work with another bank. Bigger bank, had gone to pick up my contracts. The money looked very good, but I realized that in terms of fulfillment, I wasn't feeling, because I had something to compare it with, how I felt alive over the weekends when I was working on the fashion side. I realized, okay, I do not want to spend another 4 or 5 years in a field that doesn't bring me alive. If I had known how difficult running a business is, maybe I'd have stepped a little lightly into it. But this is how I came into this, with the desire to see Ghana and Africa take advantage of the opportunity that fashion presents, but also the desire to live a fulfilled life.
You call your clothes wearable monuments of African excellence. Can you break down what that means in your creative process?
We call our clothes wearable monuments of African excellence because part of our mission is to celebrate and promote African excellence. And in our clothes, we see the opportunity for people to walk around in things that tell the story of African excellence. So when we are designing, we are looking to make clothes that, number one, people can wear anywhere in the world. There are times when people come to Africa and the clothes they buy, the relationship with the clothes is almost like arts and crafts. So I'm just buying something that I'll wear here in Accra, but when I'm gone, I don't see how I'll wear it. When we're designing one clothes that will look amazing on any stage, on any street in the world, and with the knowledge that this is a story that we are telling of African excellence, which is also why we ensure that all our pieces have some elements of Africa in them. So even if they are designing a plain basic thing, we want to leave it with a stamp of Africa, so that when someone is walking down that street in Tokyo or wherever it is that they may be walking, and someone says, hey, this is a beautiful outfit, where did it come from? There's something on the outfit that tells that it's coming from Africa. And one of the things that I am I think about a lot is how brands are built. And when I talk about brands in terms of national brands, so in Ghana, for example, if we see something was made in Germany, immediately, no questions, it's like, this is high quality, top quality, and it's a brand. And we are looking forward to the day where Made in Africa is a brand that leaves no questions asked. And we are happy that we are playing our part in making that come true.
The Gigi Collection has been your best-selling line. What do you think made it resonate so strongly with your clients around the world?
So the Gigi was released in 2016, and we had been in business by then for a little over 2 years, and had been interrogating why Ghana is such a big consumer of secondhand clothing. Not just secondhand clothing, imported clothing. And yet there's a tailor on every corner. And when we looked across the continent, the story was pretty much the same. So we were wondering, why are we not wearing the clothes made here? And we didn't think that it was the consumer's fault. We thought that in terms of the production and the design, there was something that needed to be tweaked. So we're looking at, how do people like to show up to work? How are people showing up at parties and stuff like that? And is there a way that we could, without begging people and without saying, oh, it's made in Ghana, so you have to buy, create something that people would be proud of? So from the get-go, in the designing of the Gigi, one of the things we said was, we want to create an African alternative to the polo shirt. The polo shirt is something that people wear. There are people who have 10 polo shirts, different colors. They'll wear it and dress it in different ways. And that's how the design started. So we had realized that our customers didn't want to have a full wax print outfit, because from what they told us, number one, it was quite busy and colorful. And so it limited the places they would wear them to. So
If you're still here with us, we'd like to give a shout out to Clove Kids, based in Lagos, Nigeria, and a big supporter of what we do here at Just for Women Africa.
that's why you have a basic color, and then you have the prints going on with that signature. We stepped into the Gigi not knowing what we had created, really, because I remember when we did the photo shoots before we released, we shot 4 collections, thinking that because we're coming from a made-to-measure business model, we didn't understand the ready-to-wear model we're trying to now break into. So we thought, oh, we'll sell the Gigi for 3 months and then we'll move on to the next. But from the day that we launched, we realized this is something. And it's a kind of outfit that when people still see it for the first time, they ask a lot of questions. Where was this made? What is it? What's the fabric? What's going on here? And we are grateful that we were the instruments that this inspiration came through. But another thing that has made the Gigi what it is the community that has been built around it. So right from the start, we would tell stories of the people who bought the outfit. And at some point, we couldn't keep up. But we found ways of building community around it. So we created events. So one of our funnest events was called Free Your Style Friday, that we used to organize with another local brand called Horseman. And would bring corporates Ghana together to just come and have fun and let their hair down. So if there was a runway, there were no models. It was the audience that was going to model. If there was a dancing that had to be done, those types of things. And so we took online communities and brought them in person and started to see real relationships come out of that. Another thing which has been amazing is World Gigi Day, which is usually held on 15th of November, which is Wear Ghana's anniversary. And on that day, pretty much we're just saying, if you know you have a Gigi, just show up online, post a picture of yourself, just say something about the Gigi. And people take it and do wonderful things with it. So what ends up happening is there's a lot of FOMO. You wake up one day and almost all your friends are talking about this outfit that they have. And if you don't have it, you're feeling left out, and you want to have it. So these are some of the things that have brought the Gigi together. But the outfit in and of itself, even before any story is told, it's quite beautiful, if I may say so myself.
The Gigi Collection has been around since 2016. Why have you decided to retire it? And what exciting new collection will be taking its place?
Various reasons. One, I remember this would be 3-4 years ago, where we had a company reached out, placed an order for a Gigi. We didn't know what the company, it was a new company. It turns out it was an oil company. And they had ordered it for their team at the pumps. And then we started getting calls from customers saying, hey, this is an outfit that we wear as fashion to work, to church, even sometimes to weddings. Why am I going to buy fuel and I feel attendant is wearing it and it's not looking crisp? So it's defacing the outfit. From there we realized it's true. We've started to make the Gigi as there are many corporates organizations that we've made it for in their colors and done branding. It looks amazing. But the Gigi is fashion. It's a uniform for the conscious African, but it's not a uniform that you wear to go and wait on tables and stain it, that kind of thing. So the second thing is on the corporate side of things, is a side of a business that has grown with the least amount of effort. Companies are seeing another company wear the Gigi and they're coming. And it's been growing without any real sales and marketing efforts. And we've seen the real need after some time that if we put we want to change how Africa shows up to work. Like, we do not understand why when someone says black tie, people start to think you can't wear anything from here. We want to change a lot of the ways we see our clothing that is made here. In Ghana, we have what we call Friday wear. And I vehemently oppose it. I understand why it came. It was a big reason why there was a shift in how we dress on Fridays. But the plan was not for our clothing to stay on Fridays. Because when you buy an outfit, you've made someone rich. So why are we choosing to make our producers rich only on Fridays? But coming back to where I was going, we are repositioning Wear Ghana to focus on corporate wear so that we have a chance to create exciting uniforms for across industries. We had an airline reach out to us about a year ago. It's a Pan-African airline trying to bridge the Caribbean and the continent. And it's exciting what can be done in the various industries around uniforms. So where can I focus on uniforms? So clearly the Gigi is not a uniform. It has to be brought out of that. And Republic of Africa does the fashion across the continent with collaborations and stuff like that. Long-winded answer, but it's time. It's time. It's time to say goodbye.
You have addressed celebrities, executives, and children. Is there a particular client story that deeply moves you?
There are many. Some of the things I enjoy the most is to see strangers in the outfits. People who do not know me. So me and them, we've met. We don't know each other. The only thing that connects us is the Gigi, and they don't know who I am. It's such a nice feeling. And especially on World Gigi Day, customers, when they share their stories of, I jumped on an international Zoom call. I was in my Gigi. Someone in another part of the world was in a Gigi, and instantly we are connecting. Or I walked into an interview. I was wearing my Gigi, and suddenly the interviewer was like my friend. Or it was raining. I was standing by the roadside. Someone stops and says, "Hey, Gigi, come in." It's like they're offering the outfit a ride, and they got to come along with it. But there's so many stories that are very heartwarming. We also really love the fact that although we created something for us, that it's become an entry point for expats to taste and be part of African culture. So we hear this over and over again when expats will come into our shop and say, listen, what you've created is something that I can wear and not feel like I'll be accused of cultural appropriation, because it's a global thing, and yet it has that imprint of Africa on it. Favorite story, I'll struggle. There's just too many. Just too many. And especially now that we've announced that it's going away, the stories are coming. I had someone send a video. She's Caucasian. She's like, listen, I want to speak to your board. I want to speak to management. It will happen. My kids wear it. I wear it. My mother wears it. What are you talking about? So yeah, it's very fulfilling to know that we've created not just fashion. It's It's a movement. We've shaped culture. There are customers who from the beginning told us, I don't want anything made here. I'm too sophisticated. And then after some purchases, they come back and they ask us, wait, is anyone making shoes the way you're making clothes? So we know that we've contributed not only to building our business, but also how people see products that have been made here. And we're really grateful and excited for what the future holds.
What challenges have you faced in building a fashion brand rooted in African pride?
I mean, first of all, especially in the beginning, it was the perception of quality, something that's been made here. And especially in our case where we're playing in the smart casual. So people are used to buying in Ghana, we call them like kaba and slate, the more traditional things you buy from here. But it's like there are certain things that you don't quite buy from here. So if people see a t-shirt, they don't think that it's made from here. And the Gigi, one of the fastest selling, that we call it the regular shirt, it's like a dressy t-shirt. So it was that conversation around, would it be high quality? Was it made here? A Ghanaian company, when they start, they'll do it well. But after a time, they will just start to do some nonsense with the thing. So it was that perception of quality to start with. But that said, I think production on the continent is really tough. It's tough because we say in terms of governments, we say that people should produce here, but there isn't much support because production, the inputs of production, like power, like really making sure that there's a education that's happening so that the workforce can come in and actually be productive. There's a lot that makes producing on the continent difficult. And some of it is also cultural. When you're doing large scale production, time is everything. And we still are learning how to be people who are time conscious and people who respect standards. So if we are talking about time and you're saying 10:30, 11, there's no exactness and there's the same attitude that comes to work. And if they are measuring something and we need 1 inch, and we do not understand that 1.5 is different from 1 inch, it causes all sorts of problems. But that said, I think building a business anywhere is tough. I, in the beginning, one of the young entrepreneurs that am very grateful for, Hosman Shoes, Tony Senaya, shared the Nike story with me, Shoe Dog. And I was shocked that Phil Knight in the US building his business had gone through many challenges that were very similar to what I was facing. So I am very aware of how tough entrepreneurship is everywhere. I think that in Africa we have our own interesting ways that we have to navigate it, but this is what we signed up for.
How do you navigate competition both locally and internationally?
For me, our biggest competitor is second-hand clothing. It's second-hand clothing number one, followed by imported clothing. And I see anyone who is making fashion, Afrocentric fashion as an ally. Because when they open the door, it makes it easy for us to step in. When we open the door, it makes it easy for them to step in also. And so while yes, our customer who is making a choice to buy something is probably looking at someone else who produces Afrocentric fashion. When I look at the numbers, the thing we should worry about the most is how do we start to change the over-reliance on imported fashion? How do we um, improve our efficiencies as producers such that we can have different price points that can compete with the imported clothing? And have you seen Shane? Have you seen Shane and Temu and what they are doing? And for me, that's the real competition that we have. That a customer who is spending maybe 300 cedis with me, and getting one piece of clothing can now get about 5, 6 items if they shop on Temu. Yes, it is fast fashion. It will not last long. But if this customer is not thinking about the environment and has no interest in anything made here, then we are losing. And I want us as African producers to start looking at what the real competition is rather than what we try to do. Because I see that there's a lot of alliances that we can build. So in our case, as a company, we are not looking to be a factory. We when we look at the big brands out there, no one is producing everything by themselves. People are producing less than 5% of anything that they are making, and they are the brand. So we are a brand. We are working with the local factories, and now with Republic of Africa, we're expanding that into the rest of the continent, so that we are working together to win on the global front rather than being local champions.
What's the biggest lesson entrepreneurship has taught you so far?
I'm at the point where I realize more and more it's not about me, and it's about the team. I'm trying to remember who said it, but business is a team sport. It cannot be that we are only growing based on what I am capable of doing. And in the beginning, because as a startup that is bootstrapping, we did everything. Like, I remember my mornings used to look like, especially during the time when there was doom. So I'd wake up, I'd go for a run, I'd come back to the workshop. We're working from my co-founder's house at the time. And then I'd pick gallons to go and buy fuel. I'd walk maybe like 15 minutes, go and buy fuel, come back, shower, work starts. I'm the customer service person. I'm designing, all of that. And because that's what it took to start, sometimes you can get stuck in that place where you're doing everything. I recently hired an executive assistant and I was so frustrated until I did a feedback session with her. And she was like, sometimes I'm asking myself, why did she hire me? It looks like she can do the work. And so I'm like, oh God, I'm still learning how to delegate properly. But I see that the thing that breaks businesses, especially after we've gone on for 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, even from year 5, is if we don't give the business of building the team enough focus, so that as founders, we have to know from the get-go, I am here to ensure that I can hire people better than me. I'm here to ensure that my vision is so compelling that I can get people who would work with global companies to say, I want to be a part of this. And then they come and drive it. Otherwise, the burnout is real. I've seen people burn out in different ways. Sometimes it's mental, but sometimes it's also very physical because the body has taken too much and now the body is fighting. And if I take that lesson into every other part of my life, then it's really about everyone around me and how it can never be just about me.
What is one form of support that would greatly benefit Wear Ghana so our viewers can know how to help?
I'm looking for talent. I have been hiring for the past 5 years. Always hiring one need or the other. And we've seen how we can have access to global talent in very creative ways. So for the past 3 years, Harvard sends us some of their MBA students in January to come and do a project with us. And it unlocks a lot of insights. New York University has done that. The Abu Dhabi site has done that also for about 2-3 years. For anyone watching, I'm very conscious of the fact that you can't build a global business with less than global talent, world-class talent. And so we are looking for people who are aligned with our vision, people who hear our story and become passionate. Like Republic, there are people who just hear the name Republic of Africa and like, what's going on? I want to be a part of this. That we are very open and looking out for ways that we can work with talents from across the world in various ways. We are looking to understand how we can do distribution globally. We are looking at how we can understand logistics on the continent. Because like I mentioned for Republic of Africa, the business model is collaborations with African creatives. Moving products, moving people across the continent is so expensive. It's so frustrating. And we are looking at how do we do this in the most cost-effective way. So right now, if I had Aladdin's lamp, what I'd really ask for would be a whiz kit at talent, like someone who knows how to go and find talent, and whether it's be that they're working full time with us, or that it's some of those internships like Hilltop's internship program that just ended. That someone who is able to become a guy who goes out there and just bringing us the right people to come and join the team. This is the biggest need, because I read this somewhere many years ago that when you put the right people on the bus, they will decide where to drive it. And right now we are at that point where we are looking to bring world-class talent into the mix.